Hey everyone, and welcome to another gtaonline video here on the channel. Today I want to talk about this image from the new event week that came out with the new mansion missions because I've seen a lot of discussion over it and I want to just give my thoughts on it. So what people are saying is that this is a picture of one of the new mansions from the backside of the property, and there's a few different key details we can point out here. The first one being the interior actually looking like it's visible from the outside of the property, like it's rendered in while they're outside, which is not something that happens in gtaonline because gtaonline you always load into your properties. However, they could be using methods to make it look like the interior is rendered, but really it's just kind of an optical illusion. So I'm not entirely sure the interior is being rendered here from the outside, especially because, like I said, we'd never had that happen before in gtaonline. It's always just been you have to go through a loaded screen before you enter a property. I do want to discuss something that reputable GTA leaker Lucas7Yoshi said though regarding this image, because I think he also brings up a very good point. So he said that in today's newswire post is an image featuring one of the new mansions coming in the December update. Of note is the fact that it appears you can see the inside of the interior from outside, which would be a first for properties in gtaonline. There's a few ways this may function. It's just a generic model that is always empty with no players. You enter through a loading screen and get instanced with it like in normal apartments. It reflects your purchased combination of the mansion on your screen and no one else's, otherwise same as above. Or, if they get real fancy, perhaps they could instance around the property itself, so when you enter the land, you enter kind of an instance like apartments, but you can walk in and out, drive out in vehicles, etc. This would be pretty cool, conceptually possible, but difficult. I'd really like to see them pull off that last one, and I have a very vague memory, I think, of some 5M servers doing something similar years ago. They just have to be crafty with how you enter/exit the area. I may make a concept to explain the idea better on the weekend. So if I'm understanding this right, when he talks about the land being instanced, when you get into a certain area within the mansion property, the game would put you in your own instanced version of the area, which would specifically load your own property with your own customization on it, which would mean that you might not be able to see other players while you're in that instanced area, unless you invite someone to your mansion perhaps. The interesting part about this though is that Rockstar has been experimenting with seamless instanced free mode sessions. When you start up the salvage yard finales, for example, you don't load into a different lobby like you do for like heist finales, for instance. You start them up and all of a sudden it puts you in your own instance free mode session. And perhaps that could be how they end up doing the mansions, just on a smaller scale. It's definitely very interesting to think about, and also from the development side strictly, probably a headache to figure out how to handle that with everyone owning the same property and being there at the same time. Because one of the cooler parts about these mansion properties is the outside. That's kind of a huge part of the property itself. So if you had to share that with other players who also own the same mansion as you, that kind of takes away from the concept of it being your own house, right? Like if you have your own interior and then you walk out and there's just other people sitting there outside of it, that would just feel a bit weird, you know? Some other details though, in this image if we zoom in on the top of the mansion, we can also see a helicopter's rotor blades, and judging by the shape of the blades and how they have that extra bend to them at the end, we can deduce that this helicopter parked at the top is most likely the Buckingham Volatus, which also kind of confirms that the new mansions will have personal helipads to them, or perhaps we'll be able to spawn our own personal helicopters here, just like we have that exact feature at the Helitours business from the previous update. The other question we have to ask too, is this one of the brand new properties, or is this a renovated version of Devon Weston's mansion that we can then purchase once this update releases? Because if you take a look at the back of the Devon Weston mansion, I try to be as close as possible to match the angle that the image from the newswire was taken. And as you can see, it's almost an exact one-to-one replica. The trees are almost the exact same with just very minor differences. The shape of the mansion itself is practically the exact same. It's even got those round step things to the left of the tree. The only difference really is the stairs are different with the railing on the newer image. It looks more modernized. It's very possible that this is just an image of Devon Weston's mansion, but updated and modernized a bit for us to own. You know, it's not unusual for them to change things a bit and update some parts of the map before they add properties to that area. In fact, they do it pretty much every time they add a new property. And this would just be no different. Maybe they just touch up the mansion a bit and then make it for sale for us. Of course, we also know from the GTA Plus page image that even at the other locations, though, the mansions do look very similar to Devon Weston's place, so it could be that they will all end up looking like this or somewhat like this anyways, and that they are just changing the current Devon Weston mansion into how the other ones will also look in the end. Let me know what you guys think, though, down in the comments. Do you think this is a picture of one of the new mansion locations, or is this going to be the new version of Devon Weston's place come December 9th? And how do you see Rockstar handling the whole interior situation with the mansions? If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. I also want to give a huge shout out to all of my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.